All right, here we go. You ready?
I guess.
Welcome to M Vibes Podcast.
Home of good music.
Good libations.
And good vibes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of M Vibes Podcast. We're back at our home sweet home, Tommy's Pub. We have some very special guests here today. The Penitentials. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Penitentials, yes.
Penitentials. Anyways, you know what I'm drinking? A whole lot of rosy, gluten-free coffee, blonde ale, and my favorite, Jameson. So,
Some JMO.
Jameson. Well, we've had some issues with calling it JMO.
Oh, have you? Okay.
No, it's funny. Okay, so our former host, Javier, he used to tell me that I called it JMO, and I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, dude, I've heard you call it JMO before. I'm like, no, I don't call it JMO. You call it JMO. And then, like, the very next episode, I'm like, I'm drinking JMO. He's like, motherfucker, I cuss.
It's only after 4 of them when I stop saying the whole word. JMO.
He's like, don't let Jamie hear you saying that.
Yeah. Well, they used to have Merlot here, or whatever the fuck that terrible shit's called.
Yeah.
My lord.
Yeah.
My lord. Yeah.
Dude,
What the fuck?
So it was funny. We had recorded our third wave of ska episode, and I had 2 shots in front of me, and I thought they were both Jameson. And we're mid conversation, and I go to drink my Jameson, and it was not Jameson.
That's a shocker.
And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Me and Terry are definitely George Dicko fans.
There you go. Yeah.
That's,
Speaking of that, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the Tommy's Pub Ale.
Tommy's Pub Ale from Pilot Brewing.
Is it Pilot Brewing?
Pilot Brewing, a local spot here. And speaking of Javier, he made the label for that beer.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Like some Doc Martens or something.
Yeah.
I can't see without my glasses.
I can't see a damn thing without my glasses. And Ernest, I think you're drinking the same thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
drinking the same thing.
I wish I could drink it.
And some quality house bourbon.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to get a bourbon. No, I can't.
Don't.
Not until I get home.
It's Wednesday night, right? Yeah. So, anyways, let's talk about you guys. You guys are local to Charlotte, right?
Yes.
How long have you guys been around? And
Been around forever. No.
It's almost 20 years now.
As far as me and Terry playing together, we've been playing together for almost 20 years.
20 years. In the same band, or
We were in a band called Chocha Loca. I don't know what the years were. 2006 to it was a nice run.
You're Keith Morrison now.
Keith Morrison?
and we got to open up for some great bands during that list. And a lot of people in this town really helped us out.
Yeah.
Philip Shive, Hope Nichols, the list goes on.
Oh, yeah. Hope was really cool.
Philip Shive too.
Oh yeah, they did a Fetch and Bones reunion, 2 shows, and they asked us to do both of them. It was
that was really cool.
really cool of them to do that, and we were out of our fucking minds at that point too.
God.
And our next band, Hoodsnake, was the same kind of rock and roll. We changed the name. He was tired of the name. I thought it was great, Chocha Loca, but we couldn't keep anybody because they were all fucking on drugs. We were doing more drugs than them.
At one point we had a dude playing drums with us, and he was having a heroin problem, and we were all doing this shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, his girlfriend he was with found out, all this stuff, and we said, well, man, we'll stop. We'll just stop. And we did. Then we played this fucking really important show, and what happens? Dude's on drugs. So it sucked.
We literally broke up on stage.
Yeah.
You're not the first band I've heard with that same story. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a terrible problem,
Shout out to the Van Huskins. Sorry, guys.
Oh shit. Them too.
As a matter of fact, I think it happened here, but yeah.
Yeah.
So if if you wouldn't mind explaining, because we talked about earlier, your guys' name. How'd you come up with that name? Yeah.
Well, I wanted to have a name like the Replacements, like a baseball team, the Replacements. And we're really big fans.
It was actually the Damned.
The Damned. We're really big fans of the Damned. So we were like, we want a name like the fucking Damned.
Yeah.
So we were searching, and Penitentials came up, and people don't know really, what it means. And it's darker than you think. But should I explain it the way I said it to you? Or
Yes,
is that
absolutely.
Okay? Well, if you
the fucking goat and all.
if you fucked the goat, and I fucked the goat back in the day, in the Catholic religion, your priest might say, "Oh, do 50 Hail Marys and you'll be okay," or my priest might have say, "You got to go fast for 2 years."
Yeah.
So what they did was they came up with virtually a list of penance if you cheated on your wife, you had to do this, this. So the Catholic religion, I believe it started in Ireland.
Yeah.
But they came up with a list of penance or sin. And that's what a penitential is.
Yeah.
So it's dark.
I was Catholic for
A minute.
No, it's funny because when I was a kid, I was raised through. I think my parents were trying to figure out which route to go. So we were Baptist,
Right.
we were Catholic, we were Jehovah's Witnesses, and then they joined some cult and a bunch of weird shit, man. But
You know what the best Catholic spice for food is? Guilt.
If any of my aunts or uncles listen to this podcast, which I doubt they will.
Actually, one of my Jewish friends said that in a kitchen. He was like, I'm like, man, he made some carrot soup and it was so awesome. And I'm like, what is in there? He goes, ancient Hebrew spices. I said, yeah, what's that? He goes, guilt. I thought it was awesome.
That is awesome. So continue on. I'm sorry. I kind of stopped you there with the history of your guys' band.
But with Chojo Logo for a long time, and we played with everybody, man. Weird bands like the Philip Shive hooked up to one time with the Sick Puppies. You know who they are?
I do. They had like one head on the radio.
I had no idea who this band
for like
was.
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all over NASCAR.
And we walked into Tremont, and it was just like, holy shit! I mean, it was like
It was weird because we got there, we did our low down sound
we were drunk
check
as
shit.
Yeah.
We go drink in the fucking parking lot, and I worked there. I knew we shouldn't fucking be doing that. Then we go back in. We went in back. We didn't see how many people were there, and we walk out, and we're like, "Holy
it
fuck!"
was nuts. But it was, I didn't know who the band was. I didn't. I have no idea.
They were so nice. Too.
They were
so,
fucking super nice,
I think they're from Australia,
or something like that.
and they watched us the whole fucking time. It was cool. I mean, whether you like the band or not, they're a band that's fucking making it. They're sitting there watching you like that. I always thought that was cool of them to be like that.
That is very cool because most bands are too fucking Hollywood to come watch.
No, they were
band.
cool.
Yeah.
And with that band, we got Philip Shive really hooked us up a lot, and Neil Harper too, I should say. They really gave us the choice ass shows. But we played with so many people, and
good old Tremont, man.
Oh man, it was awesome.
Everyone,
it still is awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, John Hayes, I know you fucking listen to this podcast. I've asked you like 4 or 5 times to be on the podcast, so we're gonna wrap up season 4 soon. But season 5,
we love John Hayes too, man.
John is gonna be on this podcast.
When he was at Tremont, he treated us great too.
If I could get Penny on, I have no idea how to find Penny. So.
I got her number right. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Talk to her. My wife talks to her all the time.
I would love to have Penny on the podcast. Sorry,
if you can get her to Charlotte.
Yeah, where's she at now?
She's out. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but she's out toward the coast.
Okay.
I mean, she might want to be.
That's all right.
Have her privacy.
I am not going to go find her, so that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's awesome. And, Terry's got more stories than anybody. They are bloody.
Jesus.
Coach Kramer.
What a fucking cool person.
She was cool, man. I was so bummed when she sold Tremont. But then she bought like prime part of Amos's afterwards, right?
She was
Something
bummed
like
too. I think it bummed her out too.
Mm-hmm.
Amos's, I never knew that.
Yeah. She was.
I believe it.
And that was when they expanded Amos's.
When it was,
Yeah, that's when she got her hand into Amos's, and then they made it bigger. And and then it closed, and then it reopened in the back.
Half the size again.
Yeah, but it always drove me nuts to have that stage in the corner with that fucking pole right in the middle of the stage.
Oh, the early days.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. I saw one of the worst shows I ever saw.
Yeah.
It was with Andrew, our old guitar player, and it was Mountain. Leslie
Oh,
West.
wow. You saw him?
Well, and the funny thing is the guy who was playing bass, Richie Scarlett, who I know from New York, I didn't know he was even in the band. So I show up and there's Richie. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? We see each other and everything. He was so coked out, dude. Oh, my God. He was so... But that show was terrible. And, I hate to say it because I love Leslie West, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just fucking, But
rest in peace.
It was just a bad... I mean, Corky Lang, the drummer, saved the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a show. You know what I mean? He was just a show. But it was so bad, like, at one point, Leslie West was like, yelling at the sound man, yelling at somebody else. I know somebody's getting fired tonight. He's like,
Wow.
It was bad. It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah. But, fun. Yeah, old Amos is, yeah.
Penny, though, she was no joke, man. I worked a show. It was Agnostic Front and Hatebreed and someone else. And the fucking power went out. And there's all these straight edge kids on one side.
I was there.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And Penny got in the middle of that shit.
Yeah.
And nobody did shit.
Yeah.
And she stopped that shit. It was, I'd never seen anything fucking like it. They were going to just
Dude, she knows
fuck those
everybody.
metalheads up.
Dude, one time...
Because there were so many straight edge kids. And I'm panicking, because I'm like, these motherfuckers are going to fuck us up. And somehow, man, I don't know what the fuck she did, but she stopped that shit.
She knows
Did you work there when Troy worked there? The guy who used to set up the stage and was a bouncer?
Troy.
I forget his last name, but he's my tattoo artist now.
Oh.
Troy who?
Probably if I saw him.
He owns Greenlight Tattoo Parlor off of Central. I forget his last name. I'm sorry.
I was there on and off for a long time. And then I got a little bit older and got tired of fucking.
And then you worked for Penny at Dish.
But I've been around the bouncing scene for a long time.
She knows everybody though. Nashville Pussy. Whenever they would come to town, Penny would call me and say, "Can I give you Ryder's? Can Ryder get your number?" Because I had the guitar shop. I worked in the guitar shop, so I did a lot of repairs. And every time they come to town, can you come do this? Can you come put a pickup in? Can you come do this? And the last time I saw him at Tremont, actually, and they had two broken guitars.
No, it was Milestone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Milestone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was a Milestone, and I literally glued two of their guitar headstocks back together.
Yeah.
Kept
This
the
asshole
temps on them.
he calls me up. He's like, "Guess what I'm doing?" And I'm like, "What?" Because it's always been. I want to play a show with Nashville Pussy. It's the one band we didn't fucking get to play with. Almost got to, didn't. He's like, "Guess what I'm fucking doing?" I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm working on Nashville Pussy's guitars." And I'm like, "Because that's how me and him met. We met in the guitar shop."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I literally changed the pickup in the Milestone and glued two headstocks together. And then they came back to Tremont like right after.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I asked Blaine, I was like, did they hold up? Because they were going to Europe right after.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, they did. I was kind of mind
Was that the show when they were playing in the Cash Bar? And then the Boston were playing the main stage?
Yes.
No, that was the first time I saw them too.
Yeah.
I was actually doing stagehand work for the Boston's in the big room, and they were in the other room.
Yeah.
And I remember coming up to
That was a great fucking night.
I remember coming up to
back
Corey
and
Parks.
forth, man. Yeah.
I remember coming up to Corey Parks and going, man, the name of your band's is great, man. Where did that come from? She goes, you want me to show you? I'm like, well, yeah. She goes, no, dumbass, Ted Nugent. I'm like, oh, I'm a dumbass.
Shit. Yeah, damn it. Well, I don't know who he is. So
that was a long time ago, man. Like, that's like their first record.
That was 96, 97.
That was a long time ago.
I saw him in Nashville one time to exit in. And some dude was fucking with her. And she was taking it the whole fucking show because they were all about, being.
Yeah.
And she kicked that motherfucker in the head and split his fucking top of his forehead all the way down to his fucking nose. And she was laughing at his ass.
Yeah.
And they
find out, right?
They kept playing so he couldn't get out. I mean,
Yeah.
he was like grabbing her tits and shit. And it's like,
Oh, fuck that.
And she was quite a motherfucker, I'm gonna tell you.
She is a badass chick.
He
man.
is a badass.
I saw him there, and then I saw him open for Motorhead
Yeah.
at the Fillmore with the Reverend Horton Heat.
Yes, I was at that show.
Yeah.
Is that the one I worked at?
I think it is.
I did actually the dressing rooms for that show,
Oh,
which
really?
was really awesome. Yeah. It was Reverend Horn Heat, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There was another one too. Nashville Pussy, I think, opened up also. They were there before that.
Yeah,
The Penny, she knows everybody.
Yeah.
she does.
It's just insane.
She used to. I used to work for the media play, and she used to call us up and say, "Hey, should I book this band? I've never heard of them before." And we're like, "Sure." And then that band was the Insane Clown Posse. So
No shit,
yeah.
dude.
yeah,
I worked those
Hey, man.
shows.
yeah.
I ain't got to say nothing bad about ICP, man. They,
Self-made millionaires.
dude, those dudes
Ernest,
those dudes
fucking
have.
hates them. So
I think they took their business model from Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they just knew how to market. They knew how to do shit.
Right.
We worked for.
Hey, but you know what though? To me, Kiss never sounded like they looked. The Insane Clown Posse
yeah.
sound like they look. So yeah.
Well, when you're 8 years old in
I just fucking hate
1976, Kiss kind of.
Why do you hate Fago? It's a fucking pop.
Well, when
It's
you
a
had
pop.
when I did stagehand work, they would get so pissed off the IATSE guys
Oh,
because
God.
like when at the big theaters
yeah.
where
Yeah.
they would just give it out to the audience. Like they'd had trucks full of the shit just
Oh,
to
yeah.
give to every,
Yeah.
and it would be everywhere.
Everywhere.
They would be so pissed off.
Well, I think the first time they played Tremont didn't know about the Fago. And they're like, hold on a second.
I think they
So
broke the stage, too. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. 'Cause, well, that's why, and I don't want to go off on a tangent about ICP, but they switched to diet.
You already did.
They switched to diet root beer because
Less sugar.
yes, because the regular soda was eating all their props.
You fucking posers. Some real
So-
fucking Fago,
so-
motherfucker.
If you go see them now, they use diet Fago root beer.
Ooh.
That's funny, man.
So
They figured it out.
yeah, so if you go see them, you'll smell like root beer for like 2 days
Oh,
after,
God.
after the
worked,
show. But
we
yeah.
worked for who was it?
Twisted.
Twisted.
Twisted. I'm
gonna tell you right now. I was
I
parking.
love Twisted.
I was parking
Yeah.
all the kids out in the parking
Yeah.
lot outside of Tremont on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Now it's condos there. They were the freaking nicest kids.
Oh, dude.
So polite. So like not
Yeah.
I mean, but dude, when they were bringing the kids in at the end of the night, it was Jeff Clayton.
It was
He
me.
came up-
It was me and Jeff Clayton.
Well, no,
we
I mean,
searched
I
everything.
think Jeff Clayton came out with a box full of knives, like of what they
Really?
took off all the kids. I mean,
Yeah.
there was probably 30, 40 knives.
Well,
in there.
no,
And they
there
were
was
like,
more
you guys
than
want
that.
one of these?
There was more than that because I went out. Penny told me, she said, go outside and tell them if they have anything on them to go to their car
Yeah.
and put it in there.
But they just
It's
didn't.
not a far walk to your car. Yeah.
And you can save yourself in line. And I went out there and I was like, told them. And every one of the motherfuckers goes, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, motherfuckers. I was like, we had a wand and shit.
No, it was a box full of
It was-
knives, dude.
It was more than 50.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
And I'm
'Cause
like,
they were
don't
handing
bring
them
your
all.
bowls. Don't bring your weed. All of them fucking did.
Fine.
I mean, I've never thrown
but
away
the
so
kids
much
were
weed.
so cool, though. They were so cool.
I think. All right, fuck it. We're already doing it. I think Twisted fans are much cooler than ICP fans.
I don't know nothing about that stuff.
That's all right. Okay.
I really
Well,
don't.
all right.
No, Twisted left the ICP. There's a
Yes.
feud there.
They have, yeah. Well,
And you can
looking
tell
back-
I've been in the hospital and watching shit on YouTube because I know shit about that shit. Like I'm gonna watch a Gathering of the Juggalos fucking documentary.
Hey, watch Gathering of the
Quite
Juggalos
entertaining.
documentaries. It's
It's quite interesting.
hours of fun.
The
It's hours
infomercials.
of fun, dude.
The
It's
fucking infomercials,
just
man.
just to know that those people walk the
But
planet.
Jesus, man.
It's like, oh my god.
Like, look at the festivals that they put on, and the artists that actually go to play at them.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're freaking huge.
They
I mean,
fucking
it's like,
Cannibal Corpse there.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, you know it's funny because with them and their fans, they've had to tell them like, hey man, don't walk on stage and say hello Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like this isn't Cleveland. Like yes, they're in Cleveland, but everyone here is not from fucking
Right.
Cleveland. You got to walk out and say hello Juggalos. So,
Yeah.
So when like RA
The Juggalos,
Man
Kiss
or-
Army.
yeah.
It's like they.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they took a marketing thing from
Yeah.
Kiss, and they learned how to run with it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they really did.
Anyways, let's get back to you guys. I'm sorry. So you guys recently put out some new music.
Yeah, August 1st, we put out a record that we wanted to press, but things happened with Terry's health, and we said, fuck it.
That's my birthday.
What's your birthday? You know, today's
August
the day.
1st.
Hey, you know, today is, so it's my son's birthday too, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Today's the day Cliff Burton died.
Yeah.
I saw that
Sure is. Yep.
37 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, but talk about us. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But so we just went ahead and just put it out because we were just ready to do it, and we knew we weren't going to be able to do anything for about a year.
Yeah.
You know, we had a bunch of shows booked, regional. They were kept coming, and it's just that Terry got sick, and you know, put the kibosh on it. But it's all right. We're working on the next one.
So you guys only have 2 records to date, though, right?
Yeah, like
You
an
put out
EP.
one in 2020, like during COVID, right?
Yeah,
Was it
pretty
during
much.
COVID? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much during COVID. Yeah.
That killed a bunch of big shows too that we had.
Big time. We had a couple with the Coffin Cats and we did a couple other stuff, and then just COVID wiped. So yeah, we had 2 big punches to the nuts.
I think COVID
But-
fucked everybody up too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's given.
I mean, we're probably lucky that we can play any fucking where,
Yeah.
you know, especially like Tommy. The shit he does for bands is unfucking real.
Thank you. Yes, Tommy's
Unfucking believable.
Tommy's Pub
You talk about
does
being
a lot for local artists.
Yeah.
about the punk rock fucking lifestyle.
You gotta think, man. You know, a lot of the clubs are gone. I mean,
Episode coming up soon
Dream,
with Jamie Stark talking about that very thing. So.
and you know, you gotta give it. I mean, and the same thing with like the Skylark crew and whoever's doing what. They're still trying to keep those places alive, and they're just going by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
This past year, that was my first time to Snug Harbor. I went and saw Atomic Pitchwax and
Yeah, good band.
Smoking.
Nebula, and a band that opened for him, which I want to go on the podcast. Fuck, I'm forgetting their name.
Hellfire 76.
No. They're from Winston-Salem.
I like them too.
Oh, sorry.
Jared's a great guy.
Holy Roller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Holy Roller. Yeah. They're great.
Those guys are great. And then I saw them at, I want to say, the Anthrax show at the Fillmore. I'm like, hey, you guys are in Hellraiser. They're like, no, we're not in that band. I'm like, fuck you guys. I know you are. You just don't want to fucking talk to me right now. It's all right. It's all right. Eventually you will. So are you guys going to press any copies of vinyl for your new album, or is it just
Hopefully
streaming?
the next one. We were supposed to be starting our 3rd record in August 19th, actually, with Brandon Hamby up in at Hudson Studio. I think that's what he's still calling it.
All right.
Actually, I don't
And we
think
had
so.
dates booked, ready to start for the next thing, and then Terry got sick.
All right.
And then so that just put up. But yeah, we have music, we got everything. Just getting Terry back into being able
Yeah,
to
I mean,
play
it's
and
been
everything.
kind of rough.
I don't think, if anybody knows, that Terry's had a really bad medical situation happen with appendix burst and,
Oh, man.
13 weeks in the hospital, 7 surgeries,
Jesus.
more like 9 surgeries.
Yeah.
And, and everybody in the community helped out.
Yeah, it was
And
it was unbelievable. It was
Thank you guys.
very overwhelming.
Luckily Terry had some insurance and the things
Yeah.
that he needed, but
And a good wife.
yeah, that's
Insurance only covers so much, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
yeah.
If it wasn't for my girl, though, I mean, I'd probably be dead.
Yeah. No, that's the truth.
I mean,
Um,
she really
Us-
beyond what most humans
us-
do.
Us guys will put up with pain and just deal with it forever.
Yeah.
And a girl will be like, all right. you
Well, that's
know,
exactly what he did. He,
Yeah.
he had his appendix. I believe it was perforated. Skin was all green for a week beforehand. He was helping this guy cut bush, his old man across the street from his house. He fell off the ladder, and I think that's when it burst.
Yeah.
And then you hurt your back. What's the first thing you do? Oh, I'm gonna go lay. I'm gonna take some aspirin, and smoke a bowl, and I'm gonna just go chill out. Well, he did it for 2.5 days when his appendix broke. So it was just all in his body.
Man.
Yeah. So, yes, but he's alive.
Yes,
Yay!
I'm here.
He's alive.
Oh, damn it.
It's alive. Oh, my God. It's alive.
Alive. Young Einstein. Another great. We were talking about Cheech and Chong before this episode started. And the
Who is this is?
who is this is? Yeah. My daughter knows that bit, but my wife gets so pissed when she will walk in the room. She's like, God damn, you watching Cheech and Chong? And I'm like, this is great.
My favorite one is the one that nobody knows is Things Are Tough All Over, where they play the Arabs and they play Cheech and Chong.
Oh yeah.
That shit. Oh my God. It's one of
That's hilarious.
I can't feel my balls. I can't. You're wearing pantyhose. And he's got the dead thing around him, or the fur around him. It's alive. It was he's on peyote, you know. It's alive. It's dead. It's dead. Oh, that shit cracks me up so much, man. I saw him on my birthday when they played Ovens Auditorium. It was my birthday. My wife
That
got
was
me.
like 2005 or
Was
something
right
like
when
that.
Tommy Chong got out of prison for all that shit. And you know the funny thing about it is this kid at the end of the night, they were having like a talk and everybody, and this kid came up with his mom and he goes up to Tommy Chong and he's like, his mom's like, look, my son came up with these new kind of scales to weigh marijuana. And, you know, and Tommy Chong's like, man, I just got out of prison for selling bongs, across state lines. You think I'm going to endorse your son for this shit? It's like, but it was so great, that show. And they modernized a lot of the comedy to like internet jokes and things like that, And man, at one point when they were doing Earache My Eye, and he came out with this like leotard on it with like tattoos and a pink tutu and a Mickey Mouse hat and shit, and they started doing that shit. And my wife, I look over at my wife, and there's just tears,
God.
She was laughing so hard. It was fantastic.
Ernest actually had a earache a few episodes back.
Earache My Eye.
Yeah.
I sent him that damn song through his
I used to say that shit to
I
Terry
was
all the
like,
time.
earache my eye.
Yeah.
Terry called me like, I can't make it to band practice. I'm like, earache my eye, motherfucker.
So yeah, that was another thing. I tried to ignore it, but this one didn't go away. So I actually had to go see a doctor.
I ain't ignoring that shit.
I ache my ear.
Yeah.
But no, she's strong. They're just comical genius.
It's funny when my mom got married to who I call my dad now, Jimbo. I inherited his vinyl collection, and he had the best of Cheech and Chong in there, and it came, of course, with rolling papers. Well, he didn't use them, so me and my friends did.
Not the big bamboo, the big giant one. Was it the big giant one?
Well, we kind of just cut it up to make it, because that was the album cover was them mowing the lawn, making that big ass joint, and then sitting on a ladder, poofing on it. Yeah. So my
Make sure there's some Labrador in it.
this Labrador, man, a dog ate my stash, man.
I wish I would have inherited my uncle's. My uncle owned a record store in off of Houston in the East Village in the 70s, and man, you want to talk about a record collection?
Oh yeah.
And when he passed away, I don't know where it all went. Like, he was a weird, eccentric dude. He had thousands and thousands of just all shit. And he also had a pet. He had a pet store, and he would go around to back in the day when everybody had fish tanks in their offices and shit. So he would maintain all these fish. And he had this in his basement of his house. He had like this. You walk down in the basement. There's this giant pantry with just records everywhere, and then these giant fish tanks. He'd be like, "Listen, me and your aunt are gonna go up and take a shower. Listen to the baby monitor for your cousin. Just smoke." He'd give me a bunch of weed, and I'd just be sitting down there putting records on it. And it was like, God, I don't know where any of those records are. They just, I wonder where they are.
Yeah, my dad loved Genesis.
Prog rock.
So,
I love prog rock too.
He was a big prog rock fan.
I am too.
It's funny because I asked him about it. He's like, what is prog rock? I'm like, you like prog rock. I guarantee you like prog rock. You just don't know it's called prog rock.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. I love prog rock, man. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some of those Yes albums and stuff. As a kid,
Yes.
You know,
well, it was funny.
Rush and fucking
It
King
was funny
Crimson.
because I stole all his vinyl, but then here as of late, like the past 2 or 3 years, my mom and him got back into vinyl. So when he came to my house, he goes, "Hey, I want all my shit back." And he's going through. I'm like, "No, don't take that, Beach Boys." He's like, "It's mine." I'm like,
"That's the first pressing of Led Zeppelin presence."
Right.
What
I'm
the
like,
hell?
"Dude, I've had it for like 20 years. It's like, it's mine now." He goes, "No, it's mine." And he took it. So I went out and I bought a bunch of stuff that I had lost. And then he gave it all back to me. I'm like, well, shit, now I have 2 copies of Yes. So I'm like, who owns 2 copies of Yes?
No one.
Me.
You.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
No one but Eric.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know, man. Prog rock when I was a kid, I love punk rock and everything, but I just like music. It's punk rock and roll, prog rock. I just like music, man. One time, this kid came up to me and he's like, "Well, what kind of stuff are you into?" I'm like, "Music. I just like it all." I mean, I'm not saying everything is great, but the shit that's great is great.
Well, a lot of people say that, but I will testify, and he'll probably do the same for me. We really do like all kinds of fucking crazy shit,
Me too.
I mean, it's just
I like in this. You might call this a cop out, but I like everything but country.
Hey, man, I'm not like I like certain kinds of country.
I like
don't
old
necessarily
school, old school country.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings,
Yes.
Yeah.
Conway Twitty.
Well, that was country. I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, now it's
what I was listening today? S.4 Piazzolla, which is a accordionist from like South America, and he's he's amazing. I mean, I listen to everything.
Well, growing up in Nashville, my grandfather got me into a lot of that stuff because the school I went to would sell raffle tickets, and if you sold a certain amount, you get to go to the Opry. And my granddad would take me to the Opry. Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings was my first concert.
Wow, I'm jealous, dude.
Wow.
And I didn't
He
know,
lived right down the street from the place.
Literally. So he would take me to things like Key Hall tapings and things like that.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
I took it for granted.
Yeah.
I guess
You
everyone
just didn't
does.
realize what was really going on.
Seeing fucking Roy Acuff and shit. You don't, Chet Atkins, and you're like, Jesus. Now you're like, holy shit. I really saw that shit, and
it's funny because when in the 70s, early mid 70s, my dad was gonna move to Nashville, and we kept going down there from New York. My dad had just got a divorce, and he was ready to do something different. And I swear to God, the neighborhood that Terry grew up in is the neighborhood that my dad's friend, who was helping him, trying to relocate, and they took me to all that stuff. It wasn't the Rhineland wasn't
Ryman
open.
didn't open.
Ryman,
until,
I'm sorry.
What fucking back up to
But
like
it was
the 90s.
but it was the place right where Opryland
Yeah.
was.
That
You
stop.
guys remember Opryland?
I remember. I've
Yes.
never been there, but yeah.
Did you ever go?
Are you from? You're from the South, aren't you?
No.
Where are you from?
I'm from West Virginia.
Oh,
That's the South. What are you talking about?
Well,
To a degree.
Wait, less?
no, we became West Virginia because we didn't want to be part of the South.
Okay.
Wait.
I learned something today. But Opryland was awesome, man. That place,
Oh, it was.
it was amazing. I mean, it was the best.
love the Ryman,
I mean, complaint, like for what do you call it? Amusement parks.
Yeah.
It was probably the best amusement park in the country at the time. I mean, it was fucking amazing. It was
cool.
It was
And the
in-
music part of it, like
And it had great shows.
No,
Oh, yeah.
totally, man, incredible show. And I didn't even get it like the first 3 or 4 times that I went.
Yeah.
And then one time my dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be over here watching this show," and it was like some '50s doo-wop show thing, one of the sections of the park.
Right.
And I remember we just go on the rides and just go crazy. But I was like 8 years old, and I remember going to meet my dad and the doo-wop show. I'm like, "Oh, this shit's going on here." I totally missed all of it. Then that's all I wanted to see there.
Yep.
And it was an amazing place. I cannot believe that they closed it down.
No, it's what? Dollywood?
It's a
I thought
fucking-
that's in
it's a fucking-
Gatlinburg, though,
That's, yeah.
it's a mall now.
Terry could walk to the
Yeah.
Opryland from the
If I
south.
went, yeah. I mean, it was. I grew up, that neighborhood.
But it's
But-
just stuff about the growing up. It's just like none of the kids will ever remember that place. It was just an amazing, magical place.
Yeah,
It's
it was.
like,
It was cool.
Pablo Island back in Detroit. For me, you had to go to the Detroit River, hop on like a ferry boat, and go out to this island. That was half in Canada, half in Detroit.
Oh, no shit.
Are you from Detroit?
I am.
Nice.
Yeah, and you just go out there, and they had now that I look back on it, all the rides are pretty shitty. But as a kid, you're like, oh, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
I went to high school with a bunch of folks from Detroit because Saturn opened up right outside of Nashville, and so a bunch of people from Detroit moved there.
Oh yeah.
So I went to high school with a bunch of guys from Detroit.
I wish I would have grown up
That's
in
a different breed of folks.
It is, man.
Yes.
We are
Eric is
very-
definitely different.
Yeah, I am. Fuck you, artist. Yeah,
Detroit's a wild place, man.
It almost died.
It's almost died a couple times, I think.
Yeah. It was on the brink of. I mean, there were people moving out in the middle of the night because they didn't want to be seen like.
We played some shows there.
The shit, dude.
We played some shows there in the winter in the 80s when I was in a band called Bangtail Cats. And I just remember, man, there would be like rows of houses of these beautiful, like, stone Victorian, I want to say like Victorian style houses, like just blocks and blocks of them, just nobody in them, like just abandoned. And it was like, man, imagine what these things were like. Really, and it was happening, but
Actually, I think I've lived down here more than I lived up there now. So I think it's about even. I think
Same here.
I think I've been here like 26 years now, I think, or something like that. So,
I got a lot of shit when I first came down here because I was from New York. And certain people, they want to lump New Yorkers in with a certain thing. But I've lived in the South longer than I've lived in the North. Like at 17, I left New York. I moved down to South Florida, was down there for years, came up here, went back down there, went to New York. But I mean, I've been down in the South longer than I've been in the North.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you a sports fan of any type?
No, not at all.
I was going to ask you Jets or Giants, but yeah.
No, not at all. I am not a sports fan.
It's a Yankees.
Zero.
Okay.
I think Terry's been getting me into football, European football.
Soccer.
Oh, soccer.
Easy.
So I watch it with Terry, and I get a little bit more interested.
Hey, the Brits are the one that came up with the word soccer.
Did they?
Yeah.
I never.
And now they're pissed about it.
Yeah.
Football's football.
Well, the hooligans anyway.
Football. I was forced.
Quite a thing,
I was
though.
forced to play sports as a kid, and I should have been. My dad should have been going. You need to play music. You need to do art. That's the stuff you're interested in. And so it was a different time.
I was in college, and my mom had gotten the state of Michigan to pay for my college, and I was like, all right. So I went into class for like visual arts and sound, and I was in like class for two nights, and they're like, excuse me, we don't pay for that class. That's not a class that we offer to pay for. If you want us to pay for your class, you got to take auto mechanics. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. So I learned how to fix cars.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's when you can take a class in school. I mean, they had like in New York, they had what they call BOCES.
Yeah.
And BOCES also had like special needs kids that would be, that it would have. So everybody made fun of everybody that went to BOCES, but BOCES was like, hairdressing, auto mechanics, carpentry, all this stuff. So kids who didn't have like the certain academia to go to, they would go to those classes in the other part of the day.
Yeah.
That's what fucking America needs, man. I mean, really, like trades. Kids just don't have an opportunity to get a trade without having to pay for it.
Yes,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know it happened all around the country, back in the 70s and 80s, maybe the 90s, but they've killed all those programs for things. It's just like,
but now you have
woodshop's gone, all that shit.
You have young adults going into massive debt
oh,
to get degrees that are useless.
Shit. Yeah. You might as well just throw in the garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing like learn to trade, because
Yeah.
All the college shit's
Young
not gonna,
kids. Young kids learn a trade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just but you don't have the opportunity to do it for free anymore.
Right.
Like, like, hey, I'm not gonna be a, what do you call it? Like a, this is what I'm doing. I'm not gonna go to college. I'm gonna go to trade school. I'm gonna learn a trade. I'm gonna get a job. And they just don't, it's sad that that's not offered anymore.
I do HVAC work, so I mean I've gone through all the classes. But the company I work for has been hiring a bunch of guys right out of school.
Right.
That are green, that
Trust me, I've had one working on my house the last couple of times, and I'm pretty upset about it. But I don't blame him. You know what I mean?
Well, our company, when they hire a guy like that, they have him ride with a tech for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Just to make sure before he goes on his own, he knows what the fuck he's doing,
Well, I saw that thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said about, guy goes into an interview, and he says to the interviewer says, "Do you know how tall the steeple or the spike on the thing is?" And he goes, "Well, I read it somewhere. It's about 150 feet." He goes, "All right." And then the next guy comes in, and he's like, "Do you know how big the spike is on the top of the, top of the building?" And he goes, "I don't know, but give me a minute." And he goes out and he looks at the shadow of the spike. He measures the shadow of the spike. He takes his body, he measures his body, and he figures out the difference. Okay, I know that I'm 5'4", so my shadow is 6 foot something. And he figured out approximately what the thing is. And the guy goes back and he goes, "It's about 150 feet. Now, what guy are you gonna hire? The guy that knew it because he read it, or the guy that actually figured it out?"
Wow.
And maybe not figured it out perfectly, but he figured it out, how to figure it out. So that's the thing, like with trades and things like that, where people are really hands-on. Like fractions in school, like as a kid, could never fucking get them.
Yeah.
Multiplying, got to do this, got to flip this, got to do this, got all this shit. Could never get fractions. The minute I started working with the tape measure and had to go to work,
it changes,
I fucking understood it immediately.
Yeah.
So, it's just the way certain kids look at education. Some of them get it right away. Some of them have to be shown, hey man, that is that. That is this is this,
Well, I mean,
This is
hands
this.
on. Yeah.
there's so much that it's taught that it's not given a practical application.
Well, that's it. That's exactly what you're told what the answer is.
Absolutely.
Like in Japan, they do that shit in science and math classes. Here's the problem. Get a bunch of kids together. They put them all, they're like 4 or 5 kids. They say, there's the whatever, the problem or the whatever, the quote, the answer.
Right.
And they say, figure out how that is. And they have to come up with it their own way.
Yep.
And, and some of them figure it out a certain way, and some of them figure it or get close, but at least they've thought about it. They don't do that in America.
No.
They have to show their work.
Right.
Well, it's just you're shown it ahead of time, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the right answer.
Right.
How do you get there?
How do you get there?
It's weird when I have to help my kids with their homework. I'm like, I know how to get to the answer, but the way your teacher wants the answer,
Right.
you're on your own, kid.
Well, that's when you let them be creative and say, fuck it. If it's wrong, but at least you put an effort in, then the teacher should recognize that.
Yeah.
That's another problem. Teachers that are actual, like, hands-on, really understand. Okay, well,
There are some awesome teachers out there that know how to take care of the kids, and then there are some teachers that are just it's a job for them.
I mean, and I could see where like a high school teacher would be like frustrated, or maybe even middle school teacher, but like elementary teachers, because really, you're fucking what, 5th grade?
Yeah.
What do you need? What do you need from school anymore?
Yeah, true.
I mean, you might as well get a trade. You know what I mean? It's serious.
So let's go back to the band. What's the future? You guys gonna put out some more new music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna play any live shows when he gets better?
Yes. I mean, it's all about Terry getting healthy right now, and
Hopefully at not Tremont, I'm sorry, Tommy's Pub.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish
One of
we
our
were.
last shows was actually at
Yeah,
Tommy's
I
Pub.
wish we were saying Tremont. Right?
Yes, we're in the process of writing a record.
I just
bunch of songs
started physical therapy, so it's taking a little time.
Yeah, it's gonna be The Road to Recovery. That might be the name of the album.
The Road to Recovery, yeah. That sounds good, man.
We'll rip
There
off
you
the
go.
Ramones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Road to Recovery.
I know that there's some other venues down in Tremont Avenue. We work for that company that takes care of all those buildings. There are some buildings that could probably, use a stage and a bar. We can call it Tremont Music Hall.
Wait a minute. You're saying there's state down there that
There is.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I'd never go.
We've talked about this before on the podcast. Everything that was cool about Charlotte is gone. I feel like it's all condos and breweries and CrossFits now. So
Yeah.
Everybody's on their fucking.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, and sometimes CrossFits become breweries.
yeah,
Everyone's on their fucking phone.
yeah.
You know.
It's just a different
I hate
man.
going to shows and fucking. There's people holding their fucking. I mean, call me old or what the fuck
Yeah.
ever. I hate that shit.
I just
The
saw.
whole show.
Yes, I've seen.
So I've seen people
Yeah,
record the
The
whole
entire show.
show.
That's
It's like
bullshit.
it's like there's no such thing as memories anymore because you
Right.
can record every fucking thing.
when I saw Jack White last summer, he did that whole pouch thing with the phones. You couldn't have your phone. And I just read today where the band Ghost is doing the same thing now. So
I think Danzig did it too for a
Yeah.
while. I don't know. It's just like
It's
you
just a
don't-
different time, man.
You
And
just don't have memories anymore. You don't.
Yeah.
It's like
why would you want to hold your phone up at a concert
And you're
that you
looking
paid
at it
fucking
through it.
$60 for?
I don't
I mean-
I don't mind you taking a picture. I don't mind you taking like
Right.
a 30-second
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take 30
snippet or
seconds
whatever.
to a minute to
But
put
I
on
mean,
to put on Invi's podcast
the
story.
fucking person behind you does not want to see your phone up in their face all the whole night, blocking the review. So yeah,
I just don't. I don't know.
It's everything is so different than I don't know how old you are, but
I'm about to turn 50. So
yeah, so we're in our 50s. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's so
You're
different.
old.
We're old as dirt.
I'm sorry. I'm 53.
Me too.
We're also 50.
I just turned
yeah.
53 last Saturday.
Terry's birthday was the other day. Happy birthday, Terry.
happy birthday,
But,
Terry.
Happy birthday.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
Thank
just so
you.
different, man. It's just everything is just so
It's
completely
it's changed.
different.
Well, I don't think people seek out live music anymore. Like, I remember being, early 20s. You're waiting on Tuesday for that record to come out,
Yeah.
and then you fucking can't wait to see this band. You're like, I hope they fucking play this song.
Shit, I
hope they
remember
play-
watching MTV and waiting for like the
I mean,
video on MTV to come
do-
out.
do-
You know what I
do
mean?
Yeah.
do people do that anymore? I mean, waiting for a record release. I mean, every Tuesday, I was lucky because we had a Tower Records in Nashville. I'd be down there, man,
Yeah.
waiting for that CD or
I
record.
used to,
I love going to watch shows.
Yeah.
Period.
yeah.
I
Me too.
had a long conversation with Hope Nick. I was like, nobody really fucking cares anymore. They really don't care about music like we used to as kids. Like
No.
you just could not wait for this record to come out or this magazine to come out or whatever.
Right.
You were just
It's
chomping
all-
at the bit.
Well,
Because
that's
we don't have internet. We didn't have the internet.
well, that's one of the reasons why I buy vinyl now too. It's something I can hold in my hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can open it up. I can read liner notes. I
Could
can
roll
read
a joint on
lyrics. You can roll a joint. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess with new vinyl, if you're following a band and you're like, the record's going to be out here and the vinyl,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of
I
feeling,
go-
I guess,
Go buy it. Yeah.
But,
Shout out
with
to,
all
like-
the other stuff is just,
The only place in town that gets newer stuff, Lunchbox. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Luke
don't
at
get
Premium
what?
Sound, I think.
Nobles.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't
I
been
stopped in there not too long ago, and I was like, oh, okay.
I sold all. I had 2,000 records. I sold them all to Luke
Did you?
because I was having a baby, and it's like, man, the records take so much space. Oh my god, so much dusting, setting up the turntable, this and that. I'm like, I don't got fucking time for it. Like, you know what I mean? I love. Don't get me wrong. I understand it sounds better, whatever. If you have your shit dialed in right.
Right.
But it's just got to be just too much. So, just 2,000 records in my house. I have not a very large house.
Yeah.
It was just taking up so much space. And I had a collection of killer shit.
Yeah.
Killer shit.
Killer Blues records.
Everything. I mean, punk rock, early punk
Love the
rock.
blues.
You just name it, man. I mean, I just, and I just like, fuck, I just want another house. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it, but, when you only got about 2,000 square foot in your house.
I don't think I ever quit buying records. I always have.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, that's
I have shit I bought it in high school. Still,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I wish. God,
I mean, my first
wish I had
record I
some
bought
stuff
with my
like
own
that.
money was the first Van Halen record, and I was like fucking 8 when it came out, and I just couldn't. That changed me.
Dude, I had like all original Dead Kennedy pressings.
Oh,
like
shit,
I'm
yeah.
talking about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
All the little Black Flag shit. I'm talking in the '80s, and I traded it all for a boombox.
Oh,
And
dude.
it was like I had everything. Sensational Alex Harvey band, like records you wouldn't even, all the New York Dolls, but no one listened to the New York Dolls in the '80s. But I had all these records, and I saw cassettes were the next thing, and it was just easier,
It was. I mean,
and I
Yeah.
just like a
If-
dumbass gave them all away.
if
for
we
it.
knew
Yep,
then
I was the same way.
what we know now, we wouldn't have sold
Yeah,
our shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I went from reel to reel to
Yeah.
records to not very much 8-track, and then cassettes,
Yeah.
and CDs.
Yeah.
As I just got rid of stuff as I went along.
I still own all my CDs, and I still own all my vinyl. So
Cassettes though, it's like you could make a party anywhere though if you got a jam box.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
We used to do that shit where
cassette singles.
Yeah, you could set the mood. Set the mood.
I used to do that.
we used to do this shit where we'd like get 3 boom boxes and everybody would have like AC/DC Back in Black, and we'd be like 1, 2, 3, click, and everybody so it'd be playing at different speeds,
Oh shit!
and it was and we'd be
It all
acid.
depended on the batteries for that boombox, right?
Exactly, yeah. Or just the motor, even if the
Yeah.
batteries or even if it was
Yeah.
plugged in, the motors never were 100% the same.
Right.
But we like take acid and shit, and it'd be like listening to the Butthole Surfers and doing that shit, and it was like even weirder than the Butthole Surfers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we used to do that like two or three boom boxes and play the same cassette at the same time. And it was,
I actually got a boombox that had a dual cassette.
Oh yeah.
Now it was supposed to be for recording one to another, but I got one that you could actually monitor. So I would be playing one track while I was monitoring the other
Yeah.
one,
Oh,
getting ready,
wow.
and then I'd switch over. So that's how I used to DJ.
There were ones that when one tape stopped, the next one would start.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had this fucking machine when I was a kid, and this is how I really started doing multi-tracking early as a kid. You're gonna laugh your ass off. It was like a 4-track. It had 2 cassettes. It had a 4-track built in it, so you could record, and it had a turntable on it. But
What?
it had a fucking turntable on it.
Yeah.
So we would record. It was like a 4-track.
Yeah.
You could bounce it to 8, and all stuff. But it was like my first 4 as
That was
a
a
kid.
Roland, wasn't it?
I mean, it was like I always thought it was some cheap piece of shit, but it was like a turntable, two tape decks, and you could record, you could plug shit in
Yeah.
and record it. And that was the first recordings I ever did. You know what I mean? And it was weird because it didn't, if I remember correctly, you didn't have to like do all the flipping the tape kind of shit and all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like it was a weird machine, but I wish I still
because
had
they
it.
would reverse the tape and play the.
Right.
Yeah.
The other
It was
side.
Sometimes
Yeah.
those tape decks didn't really work out too well.
no.
My both of my younger sisters did figure skating, and my dad asked me to make a copy of some tape to put to so my sister could use it for her ice skating
Right,
thing.
right.
And I recorded it for him, didn't listen to it, had no idea. And she gets out there and is going, and I'm like, uh-oh. She was so mad at me. She's like,
That's funny.
what'd you do to my tape? I'm like, it got stressed out. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. I have no idea. Oh, well.
that's something kids won't remember either. Is
Good
fucking.
old- oh, yeah. I had that same stereo with the 2 tape decks and then the turntable on the top. Yes.
But this had a 4-track machine in it.
Oh.
So you could record.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was like
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird, but it worked. And I did tons of recordings on it.
I've been a DJ since I was a kid in like middle school, so I've gone through. I used to use tapes to DJ with. I would sit in my room the night before a gig and rewind that tape to where just before it would play, the song would start, and I would go through and queue up all my tapes. And
A little
then-
harder, wasn't it, back then with the tape?
It was a pain in the
Where's
ass.
Pro Tools when I need
But I
it?
mean,
man?
I was like 12 and I had nothing else to do. So I was like, I just, we start a tape, it takes forever for that song to start.
Right
so.
therein is the magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It really is.
Making mixtapes for chicks.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, I
Remember that
made.
stuff?
See, kids won't know that shit now.
No, it's funny because I made a
Playlists.
I made a mixed CD for my wife when I first met her. It was all ska bands, and as a matter of fact, I think it was last week or something. She goes, "You know what? Will you make me that mixed CD on a playlist?" I'm like, I think I remember half the bands that were on there. That was 23 years ago. So I'm like, I think I know what bands are on there. Yeah, sure, why not?
I remember giving this girl, my band made a little demo tape and stuff. And I remember giving this chick I really liked in school. I was like, yeah, this is my band. And I ended up giving her the wrong tape.
Ooh.
And I can't remember what band it was, but she's like, that's not your band. That's such. I'm like, oh shit, I gave you the wrong tape. she never believed me
afterwards.
after that.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're so cool.
Yeah, and I was like, sorry.
Anyways, let's wrap it up for the week, man. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it a whole lot.
Let us know when you guys do play a gig, and we'll.
We definitely will.
We will certainly.
Yes.
Give it a listen. You know, it's on any streaming services.
Yeah,
listen.
you guys are on Spotify, which is where I listen to you guys.
Yeah, we're on all of them.
One of the and you might get, I don't know, upset about this. One vibe I got from your guys' music was the Cult.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the fucking Cult.
Yeah.
I love them.
I was like, man, these guys kind of slide the Cult. So yeah.
Hey, man, that's a compliment.
I'm kind of lucky. I get to play music with two of my favorite guitar players.
Yeah.
Because I played with both of them so long, and it's like, you know, I listen to a lot of music, and I'm like, I can't even look at him in practice sometimes because I'll be smiling fucking ear to ear because we just have
Funny
this
faces
we,
we
we,
make.
we just have this thing between each other. It was instant too. So I mean, I'm a pretty blessed dude.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to hear you guys play live. I can't wait to hear some new music.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Adios.
Don't forget the rock and roll.
Bravo.
Rock and roll. Nah, who is this is?
I gotta pee. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tommy's Pub. Located at 3124 Eastway Drive, Tommy's Pub is a small neighborhood bar that's big on music and community. Go to Tommy's Pub's Facebook page where they regularly provide updates about upcoming events to include weekly open mic night, karaoke, and live music from some of the best up-and-coming bands in the Queen City. Thank you, Tommy's Pub, for hosting M Vibes Podcast. We have a lot of interesting episodes coming up about music's most interesting topics. But we want to hear from you and what episodes you'd like to hear. If you have an idea for anything we should talk about, email us at mvispodcast@gmail.com. This episode was produced by BWM Productions. If you like our podcast, please help us by rating and reviewing us on your favorite listening platform. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at mvispodcast. Come on and join in the conversation.